Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's that time. Finally got the resin in, so I can go ahead and make a video and show you guys how to cast one of these heads out of them molds we just made. I've got the molds in the oven right now preheating. You want to preheat the molds to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to have your pressure pot set up and ready and your air compressor charged, so you can get this pressurized to 60 psi very, very quickly as soon as you're done. This Alumilite Clear, this has a 6-minute pot life, meaning we have 6 minutes that we can work with it, and we need to get it into the mold within that 6-minute period and into the pressure pot and pressurized within that time. And it's got a demold time of 45 minutes. So, and we need to mix it for 2 to 3 minutes before we even add our dyes. So we've only got a couple minutes to get this poured in the dyes and get it down there. If you're just starting out, go with the more slow setting stuff. The Alumilite Water Clear has a 15-minute pot time, a 15-minute working time, and a 1.5 to 2 hour demold time. So it'll give you a lot more time. It's more forgiving. So I would start with that. It's what I did. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to cast these heads right now, yourself. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this cup face. I showed you guys how to make this big bullet head mold the other day. It's on the videos right back. And you can see I've got a whole box of lures here. I mean, I've made myself over 50 lures, all different shapes, sizes, some with tandem hooks, some with stiff rig hooks. I got some of these tubes off Uline. Okay, I put them in these tubes like this, and they're all ready to go. But these are really nice lures, you guys, and you make them yourself at home, better than bought, for pennies on the dollar. The whole point of this channel. But anyway, let's get into it. As you can see, we got the molds in here heating, 160 degrees. We give them about 10 minutes time. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this one is a translucent blue. I'm just using Alumilite's translucent blue. And don't even try to put a drop of this into your dye. You need such a minute amount. It is really, really ridiculous. If you try to put a whole drop in, your chances are it ain't going to be translucent like what you're after. It's going to be more of an opaque. So I just put a little bit on a plate like that. Now I know to fill all the molds I'm going to be doing, I need to have 40.5 grams of each A and B. So I'm going to pour 40.5 of A, and then we're going to bring it up to 81 with the B. And you have to be dead on with your numbers. So let's just start. Part A, we're going to jump in and give it 40.5. And we have to be perfectly accurate with this, you guys. Oh, one more drop. There we go, 40.5. Now we're going to add 40.5 of this, which we're looking for 81 grams total. We'll shoot this into 81. Now, if I was to go over 81, I would need to know how much. Like, see, I've got 81.1. I'm 0.1 over, so I need 0.1 of this. 81.2. There we go. Now that's a perfectly accurate batch. Now we need to mix this really, really good. See how it just went all cloudy? Okay. We need to mix this until it's completely clear, scraping the bottom. And when you mix, keep your stir stick on the bottom of that cup. If you lift it up, it's going to incorporate way more air than if you keep it rubbing on the bottom. scrape the sides. Real important. You got to get all this mixed perfectly. Then scrape the stick. I'm just pushing the pressure with my thumb on that cup as I wipe the stick clean. And I'm scraping the sides again. Real important. And you'll feel this start to heat up in your hand as the chemical reaction starts to take place. You're going to feel it. Now remember, our pressure pot is ready and sitting there. The compressor is already pressurized. And the molds are in the oven hot. Because what will happen is this is a chemical reaction. It heats up, and that's how it hardens. If I didn't preheat the molds, chances are the mold is going to rob the heat from this resin, and it's not going to cure properly because of it. So that's why we preheat the molds. That way it doesn't rob any heat from this chemical reaction that we need to take place here. Okay, there we have it. And now I'm going to show you guys how little. I'm just going to come into this blue. Look how much I got on there. Just a little bit, and you watch. Now imagine if we put a whole drop in there, what would happen? Let's mix that in really good. Scrape the sides again, because what's stuck to the sides isn't going to be pigmented blue. It's going to be clear. So go ahead and scrape it all down. Give it a good mixing. And then I'm adding some UV flake to this. Okay. Top secret stuff. Just add some of that like that. Mix it in. Now I've got to be quick and run and get the molds. So I'm going to do that real quick like. Alright, here's the molds fresh out of the oven. Now, first thing I'm going to do is pour this big cup face, and this takes an insert. I've already gone out and sprayed this with a mold release spray. Very important. You don't have to spray the inners of the molds, meaning don't spray inside of these with it, but for an insert, for this style lure, you definitely want to. Now watch, I've got to get the air. See that bubble that just come out? See that bubble? If you don't tilt these and roll them around, you're going to get air that's trapped underneath there. And it's going to give you an imperfection in your pour. So make sure and watch for that. Then I'm going to put my insert in. Scoot it out of the way. And I'm just going to top this up. Like so. And then I've got marks on here to line this up. So it's centered. That's done. Set it out of the way. Now I'm going to grab our big bullet. So the mold's lined up. Hold it at an angle. Pour it in. And we're just going to come up to that undercut. Right to there. Same deal. Keep it at an angle. See the bubbles popping out? I hope you guys can see that. You want to roll that around at an angle like that and get any trapped air to allow to come under that undercut. If you don't, what's going to happen is your lure is going to end up having a hole in it, because we're going to go down and pressurize it. And it's going to collapse all them air bubbles. So that air bubble ain't going to stay in that. It's going to end up being a hole and a defect in your lure. And you won't be happy. Same deal with this one. Tilt it, roll it around. And you got to get that air to come out. Top it up. And last but not least is the tiny chugger. And I always heat this one up just because. See, I don't want to waste all this. And I would have. So we've got the little chugger here. Same deal. That's got an undercut. So I can't just rush it and pour it. Even though I want to, because time is of the essence here. There we go. That's topped up. Now sometimes you can come back and top these up a little bit more, and that's what I'm going to do. Just a few drops to each one because they settle down. And we've got to hurry and get them right down to the pressure pot. So let's go do that right now. Any little air bubbles on top, wave a flame over it real quick. See that bubble? Watch. Boop, gone. Just a quick flame, that's it. And we've got to get these right into this pot. And this is just a modified paint pot that I have modified here to use for this. I'm getting all these set down in here. Now I've got to pause you guys and quickly get this lid and get this pressure up. Okay, the lid's tight. Now I'm going to put 60 PSI in it. Okay, now that's it. We're going to wait. That's going to sit down there for 45 minutes under 60 PSI of pressure while it cures. And what that's doing is any air bubbles, the pressure is collapsing them and making them so tiny they can't be seen by the human eye. And the epoxy is going to harden and trap it that way. Okay, so we don't have to vac down this epoxy to get the air out of it like some people do because we are casting under pressure. And this is what we're going to come out with, okay? That's a big bullet that I did earlier. These are glow-in-the-darks. I got phosphorescent powder that I got this time. Did some glow-in-the-dark ones. Pretty impressive, too. But we'll give that some time. Like I say, it's 45 minutes. Leave your mixing cup here because you can use this as an indicator. When this is hard, you pretty much know your stuff down in the chamber's hard. So I always leave it here just to kind of monitor. But that's pretty much it. We'll give that 45 minutes and then we'll crack it open, get them out, pull them out of the molds, and you guys will know how to make your own lure heads. But anyway, sit tight and we'll get to that here in a minute. See, some of these lures are really, really nice, you guys. You make these. Watch this color changing head. Stare at this head, you'll see. Look, we got purples, dark purples, blues, almost goes black. And you can see all that color change. You can see the UV in it. See all them, looks like lights. It looks like it's got LEDs in it. And that's the UV. Which that UV will pop off a lot brighter than that when it's in the sun. Okay, but that color changing head, that's going to represent a bait fish in distress. You guys know how they color. Color change. Look, purple, dark purple. It goes from reds, blues, and purples in this mix. But just wanted to show you that. You know, and you can just make a ton of your own lures. These are the green machine style lures here that I do. That's in a UV, just to clear with the UV. Which I really like that UV. And I'm excited to get down to the Keys and test it out here coming up. We got a trip right the first week of October, so that's why all this is in the box. It'll be shipped down. But anyway, as soon as that's hardened up, you guys, we'll go ahead and pull the molds and show you guys what we ended up with. Alright, it's been about 45 minutes. Go ahead and depressure. As you can see, we had quite a bit of pressure in there, 60 PSI. And like I said, this is just a paint pot you can get off Amazon. They're like 80 bucks. Comes with a spray gun and stuff, and I just modified it with a ball valve on this end and a spot to hook my compressor onto this end. This side I hook my vac hose into, and I can use it to vac down rubber when I'm making molds, just by opening the valve with the vac pump hooked to it, or I close the valve and put the compressor on this side, use it as a pressure pot. So you guys don't need to go spend a fortune on a pressure pot. Buy one of these things for 70, 80 bucks and just modify it. But these are all done. I'll pause you guys, dig them out, and we'll head upstairs with them. Alright. We'll go ahead and get this big cut face out first. And what you want to do for your inserts, take your finger, push on one side, push on the other side. It's going to let some air get in there. And just kind of wiggle it out and it should pull right out. If you don't use mold release spray, chances are it's going to ruin it when you try to get it out because it's just going to stick in there. Remove the bands, split the mold, pull the head. That's just a transparent blue with our UV flake in it. Small bullet with the UV flake. And you can see it's just a very minute parting line. I mean, this wouldn't take but a second to clean up with some 2000, 3000 grit sandpaper. You start your drill bit up in it. When you're about halfway in, just stop drilling so the whole thing will spin. Wrap some sandpaper around it and let it have it. And then polish it up with some polishing compound. I'll do a sanding and polishing video for you guys on another one here. But here's a small chugger head. Okay. And this is the mold that the prior video that we made. And this is our big chugger. And you'll see that little dink, what we talked about, why that's so important in there. That's what gives us our starting hole, where to drill. We're not trying to guess where center is, okay? It's about 1/4 inch deep, and it's a perfect starting point so we can get a nice line right down through this head without it being crooked and all messed up on us. But that's how you do it, you guys. I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope it inspires you guys to make some stuff yourself and get out on the water more, because you're saving some money. That's the whole point of this channel. Why buy it when you can make it yourself? Better than bought. Anyway, if you guys liked the video, smash that like button, follow the page. I'm going to keep the videos coming as much as I can. And I appreciate everyone stopping by. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Y'all have a good one.